Welcome in, Bingers one and all. Glad to have you with us this episode. Let's get started.
It's the Binge Podcast where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast. Come join us fast.
All right, guys. It's the rant, the infinite scroll, a hyper-connected odyssey through the digital wasteland of late capitalism and the gradual erosion of the human soul. Let's go. We're doing the rant.
Cast anthem, daily grind. Thoughts unleashed, no place to hide. Passion storming every mind. Tune in, tune out, tonight we ride.
And so we find ourselves yet again mired in the endless fucking morass of late-stage consumer capitalism. Our brains marinating in a stew of targeted ads and algorithmic bullshit, desperately seeking meaning in the flickering screens that dominate our waking hours. It's like we're all trapped on this psychic hamster wheel, running faster and faster towards some nebulous goal of self-actualization or success or happiness or whatever the hell it is we think we're supposed to want, all while the world outside our carefully curated digital bubble careens towards ecological disaster and societal collapse. But hey, at least we can order same-day delivery on that thing we didn't even know we needed until the goddamn ad popped up in our feed, right? And isn't it just so fucking convenient how our phones can track our every movement and preference, the better to serve us an endless stream of dopamine-triggering content tailored to keep us scrolling into the void. It's almost funny, in a sort of deeply depressing way, how we've managed to create this hyper-connected world where we're more isolated than ever, where genuine human connection has been reduced to the likes and shares and carefully curated social media personas. We're all performing for an audience of everyone and no one, lost in a hall of mirrors reflecting back distorted versions of ourselves. And let's not even get started on the way this constant connectivity has warped our sense of time and attention. We've become a society of multitaskers, forever juggling multiple screens and inputs, our minds fragmented into 1,000 tiny shards of partial focus. We can't even watch a damn movie without simultaneously checking our phones, as if we're terrified of missing out on some crucial piece of information or social interaction. It's like we're all suffering from some kind of collective ADHD, our ability to engage deeply with anything slowly eroding under the relentless assault of notifications and updates and breaking news alerts. But what's the alternative? To unplug, to opt out, to become some kind of digital hermit? As if that's even possible in this age where existence itself seems predicated on having an online presence. It's exhausting, really, this constant pressure to engage, to produce, to consume, to optimize every aspect of our lives for maximum efficiency and output. And for what? So we can work longer hours, to buy more shit we don't need, to impress people we don't even like? And yet, despite all this, perhaps because of it, we find ourselves more anxious, more depressed, more isolated than ever before. We're drowning in information but starved for wisdom, connected to everyone but intimate with no one. We've created these elaborate digital personas, these idealized versions of ourselves that we project out into the world, and then we wonder why we feel so hollow and inauthentic in our real lives. It's a peculiar kind of hell we've built for ourselves, one where we're simultaneously overwhelmed by choice and paralyzed by indecision, where we have access to more knowledge than any generation in history, but seem incapable of agreeing on even basic facts. We're like rats in some vast, complex maze, frantically searching for the cheese of fulfillment or meaning or purpose, all while the maze itself keeps shifting and expanding around us, driven by the insatiable appetite of market forces and technological progress. And the truly insidious part is how we've internalized all of this crap, how we've come to see it as normal, even desirable. We've bought into the myth of constant productivity, the idea that every moment must be optimized, every experience quantified and shared. We've accepted the commodification of our attention, our preferences, our very identities. We are willing participants in our own exploitation, eagerly handing over our data, our privacy, our autonomy in exchange for the fleeting dopamine hit of a new like or follower or retweet. But perhaps the most terrifying aspect of all this is the creeping suspicion that there's no way out, that we're too far gone, too deeply enmeshed in this digital web to ever truly break free. And so we keep scrolling, keep consuming, keep performing, all while a nagging voice in the back of our minds whispers that maybe, just maybe, there's more to life than this bullshit. But hey, look, another notification. Better check it, right? After all, it might be important. Here's a little segment we call the Top 10 List. And this is a list of top 10 things you've definitely done at least once.
Top 10 time, it's the thrill of the night. Rankings up high, feeling safe right. Listening close, get ready to climb. We're counting it down, it's top 10 time.
1. Checked your phone to see the time, then immediately forgot what time it was. You pull your phone out, check the time, and wait. What was it? You stare blankly at your screen trying to remember the time, then get distracted by a notification about a new cat video and completely forgot. You check it again, but now it's been 15 minutes and you still can't remember what you were doing. 2. Sent a text to the wrong person, then awkwardly tried to cover it up. You type out a message like, "Hey, want to hang out tonight?" and accidentally send it to your boss instead of your friend. Panic sets in. You quickly try to recover. Oops. Meant to say that to my friend, sorry for the confusion, but then you realize the boss is a huge fan of spontaneity, so now you have to pretend like you're just that cool and always texting everyone like you're in a movie. 3. Try to unlock your car with your house key. It's the end of a long day, you're tired, and you walk up to your car confident in your ability to open it. You fumble for your keys, pull out one, and jam it into the lock. Nothing happens. You give the key a little twist and even jiggle it like that's going to help. Finally, you look down at the key and it hits you. You've been trying to open your car with the house key for 5 minutes. Nice. 4. Said, "I'm just going to have one cookie," and ate the whole box. You look at the cookie jar telling yourself just one cookie. It's fine. You deserve it. But that first cookie tastes so good, and before you know it, you polished off an entire box. You even start rationalizing your behavior. I mean, they're small cookies, right? This can't be that bad. Plus, they're organic. And now you're in a sugar coma wondering where it all went wrong. 5. Made a grocery list, but forgot the most important item. You spend time writing a detailed grocery list: bread, eggs, milk, toothpaste, chocolate chips, and a bunch of random stuff you'll never need. You go to the store, get everything on your list, and when you're checking out, it hits you. You forgot the one thing you actually needed: milk. You try to play it cool, like you're just about to head back, but you both know that's a lie. You're going home with no milk. Again. 6. Put something in the microwave and then forgot about it. You're trying to heat up your leftover pizza for a quick snack. You set it in the microwave and press a button and then sit down to check your emails or catch up on that article you've been meaning to read. An hour later, you open the microwave door and are greeted by a sad, carbonized lump of what used to be pizza. It's less pizza, more art project now. R.I.P. pizza. 7. Pretended to understand something in a conversation, then nodded along. You're in a conversation with someone and they start talking about something complex like quantum mechanics, cryptocurrency, or astrophysics. You don't understand any word of it, but they look so passionate about it. So you nod along like you're an expert, occasionally muttering, interesting. You even throw in a "yeah, I totally agree" at the right moments. Inside, you're just hoping this person doesn't ask you to explain any of it back. 8. Try to impress someone with your cool dance moves only to regret it immediately. You've had a few drinks, the music is pumping, and you think, "I've got this." You pull out your most daring dance moves, the funky chicken, the robot, maybe even a risky moonwalk. At first, you're feeling it, but then you catch a glimpse of yourself in the reflection and realize you look like a flailing octopus. Now you're stuck trying to pretend it was intentional, like you've just invented a new dance craze. 9. Accidentally waved back at someone who wasn't waving at you. You're walking down the street, minding your own business when you see someone wave in your direction. Naturally, you wave back, but then the wavee's face shifts and you realize they were waving at someone behind you. Now you're locked in an awkward wave-off, trying to decide whether you should just pretend you're part of the crowd or awkwardly stop waving mid-wave and act like nothing happened. 10. Closed a browser tab, then immediately opened it again because you forgot what you were doing. You're deep into the web, browsing something important, probably a YouTube rabbit hole, and you close a tab because you're distracted by another tab that definitely seems more important. A few minutes later, you go back to where you left off and it hits you. What was I even looking for again? So you reopen that tab only to forget once more. After a while, you realize you've opened the same tab 5 times and still have no idea what you were searching for. Alright guys, that's been the top 10 list. The paradox of precision, the complexity of everyday existence in the modern world. It's fucking amazing, really, how often the ordinary is way stranger than the exotic. Take a cup of coffee, a drink so ubiquitous, so banal, that it's easy to dismiss. Just something you do to wake up, to kickstart your brain and get on with the endless grind of the day. But if you take a step back, it all starts to look a little more complicated, maybe even insane. A cup of coffee isn't just coffee. It's an entire world, a ridiculous web of logistics, resources, and sheer dumb luck that you get this brown, bitter liquid in your hands every goddamn morning. It starts with the beans. Those little bastards. They didn't just appear out of nowhere, no. They've been through hell to get here. Some farmer on the other side of the planet has spent months growing them, picking them, dealing with the elements. Then they're shipped halfway across the world by boat, by truck, by plane, and along the way, who knows what the hell happens. They're processed by machines that cost more than some people's fucking houses and packaged and sorted by people who are just as detached from the process as you are when you crack open that bag and dump the beans into the grinder. And that's just the start. As you set up the grinder, you realize there's a fine line between the grind being just right or turning your coffee into an undrinkable sludge. The temperature of the water is key, too. Just the slightest deviation and you're screwed. But here's the thing. Despite all the care you take, despite all the precision you try to inject into the process, there's a little voice in your head reminding you that you don't control shit. The coffee might be perfect, or it might be a bitter, watery disappointment, and you don't even know why. That's the fucked up part of it all. We like to think we're in control. We like to think that if we get all the steps right, grind the beans just so, heat the water to the perfect temperature, pull the shot at the exact moment it's ready, that we've somehow mastered the process. But the truth is, it's all a massive gamble. And for all our effort, the universe will do what it wants. And sometimes that means your cup of coffee tastes like dirt. It's the same with life. We walk around like we've figured it all out. We have our schedules, our routines, our little systems, but when you really start paying attention, it's clear that we're just pretending to control things. We can't even control the fucking weather, let alone our lives. Sure, we can plan, we can organize, we can try to manage our time like it's some kind of finite resource we've got down to a science. But the reality is that every goddamn thing is in a constant state of flux. It's like the coffee machine. Set it up just right, but one little thing is off and the whole fucking thing's ruined. If you stop and think about it for more than a minute, you start to see the absurdity of it all. That coffee in your hand didn't just come from nowhere. It's a product of global systems, of geopolitical forces, of climate change, of labor movements you'll never see. And all that shit, everything from the guy who picked the beans to the water that's heating up in your kettle, is part of this immense web that you didn't create and you sure as hell don't control. Yet there you are, sipping it like you've got everything figured out. The weird thing is, we're obsessed with control. We need to control shit or we lose our minds. That's why we build highways, why we stockpile data, why we try to reduce everything to manageable numbers, percentages, and projections. But the more we try to control, the more it slips through our fingers. Because in the end, nature doesn't give a shit about your timeline or your perfect morning routine. The leaves outside your window fall when they fucking feel like it. The weather changes without warning, and the coffee machine may just decide to fuck with you on a particularly bad morning. And that's the beauty and the horror of it all. Because here's the thing. There's a strange kind of peace to be found in that chaos. The coffee isn't just coffee. It's a reflection of everything else in life. Unpredictable, messy, and sometimes for no reason you can understand, just exactly what you need. Life doesn't fit into neat little boxes, no matter how we try to shove it in there. So we can either keep pretending we've got it all under control, or we can accept the fucking absurdity of it, grab that cup of coffee, and just enjoy it for what it is. A fleeting, miraculous moment of clarity in a world that doesn't give a shit if we're ready for it or not. If you've enjoyed what you've heard here today, please drop a like and subscribe. There's a new episode every week.
Tune in right now. Got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Right now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Tune in right now. Stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast.